you know, us sports moms have something to say.
Yes, we do.
We'll have a chance to interview across the board, from athletes to the parents to the coaches to even the trainers.
And we're not afraid to share our journey. We're not afraid to tell other moms what we went through in order to raise up a student athlete. So I believe that it's inspirational.
We able to tell our story, the good and the bad.
We can give back positive information.
Absolutely.
You know, we can empower them.
Yeah, I think it's time for the mothers to be a voice.
Yeah,
That's it.
It's time for us to let you know what's going on.
What's up, everybody? This is your girl, Shannon, with Can We Talk Sports. I'm here with my host.
Looks
Carmen.
like Karen is frozen. Well,
I don't.
this is Carmen, aka Mama D.
Okay, and we have frozen Karen, aka K Dog. But listen, Carmen, I got kicked out of my studio.
What's up with that?
So I'm down here in my dining area, and because of sports
Yep,
and games.
football. Sunday
Yeah.
night football.
Sunday night. So I got kicked out. I've been kicked out actually all day. So yeah, this being moved.
Football
Karen,
all day.
football all day. AKA K Dog, can you hear us?
Man,
And we see she got kicked out of her studio.
I don't know what is going on.
Are you kicked out your studio too?
Yes, I'm downstairs in front of my curtain. Yes, because I had to try to get closer to the Wi-Fi to, for it to work correctly, and I'm still having problems. So I just count that up. I just throw that up. That's the enemy.
Yeah,
He's trying to
didn't y'all
stop
just
me.
see my light surge? Did you see him?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So if I go off, it's But anyway, so
Right.
I was really looking forward to a DeSoto game this Friday, but I got a feeling we're gonna go. Well, this Friday just passed, but we getting ready to go to one coming up Friday, right? Are we still going to?
Ye-
Y'all, I get to
Yes,
go to
they
my
play
first
their first
DeSoto U
conference.
game. What?
Girl, you're gonna be wanting to move here when you
What?
come to the
I get
game.
I get to go to my first DeSoto U.
This
What?
first Soto, the atmosphere on the sideline, baby. You're gonna be on the sideline. You'll get to
What?
experience what it's like to be here in DeSoto.
Carmen, are you going?
I'm not. I went Friday, Shannon. I was there because they were playing Trinity Christian, and we weren't gonna miss it. So we went. It was okay. So Trinity Christian's small, well, a good sized Christian school, but compared to DeSoto, they're just itty bitty. But let me tell you, that first quarter, Trinity was winning 10-0. But I think they surprised DeSoto a little bit. But yeah, by halftime it was like 35-10. It was DeSoto pulled it together. And let me tell you guys something else.
Wait,
Look,
sister.
listen,
By
listen,
halftime. it was-
by halftime. And listen, I guess I don't know if it's just DeSoto. I don't know if it's like citywide, but they don't serve hot food in the concession stand. No nachos, no hot dogs,
Who
no.
don't?
No, the concession stand at the football game, like they had chips and candy and soda.
It's because of private COVID.
Yeah, but
Right.
by
But I
halftime,
know
we was
there's no
hungry.
football. There's no football without. Well, no, that's
A
not true.
nacho
Because
or
no, because we went to McKinney Christian, and they had this is what they had: hot chocolate with a candy cane and marshmallows.
Ooh.
What?
Hey,
So
we went to Trinity for homecoming. Let me tell you what they had in the concession stand. Gumbo.
Gumbo.
combo.
And it was good too. Yeah.
Oh, dang.
I
Yeah.
never been
Y'all
to
was
a
up
game.
there
Yeah.
licking your fingers and drinking out the bowl. Gumbo?
Gumbo at a
Yes.
football game?
Yes, they had gumbo and it was good.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
wow! Them was-
Well,
I can tell you what Mama's was up in there.
I know,
Right?
right?
Right? Chef, oh goodness. I can't
Gumbo
think.
at a
They had
football
brought
game.
somebody in. His name was Chef. I'll find it in a minute, but it was really good.
He's light skinned with freckles,
He had glasses.
and
That's
he
all I
had
remember.
dreads. He had dreads.
I don't remember dreads, but he
Okay.
had a hat on. So
Speaking of light skinned with freckles, is what's the place we went to downtown off of McKinney? We went for Kawashika's birthday and we had our meeting there. What's the name of the place?
Oh, Harris House of Heroes.
Is it still open?
They opened a second one,
What? Where at?
and it's supposed to be bigger. I don't know where exactly it's at. Somewhere in Dallas. I'm not
Okay,
sure.
I was just thinking about that because we had a good time. That was some good food. We talking about chefs and food. So,
Yeah, they opened up a second one.
oh, okay. See, look at them. Listen, y'all. All of us is going through right now. So I see Carmen. Push her mic up. I don't know who she's talking to. I'm hoping.
my husband is trying to listen because Mahogany is going to be on, but he's like sitting next to me with the phone with it on, and I'm like,
Wait, listen. And I'm sitting here hoping my son don't walk through the door. You know, all of a sudden, if you see somebody just walk through the front door, you know, I'm sorry because I'm in the dining room. Karen got moved to I don't know where she at. So I don't know what. I mean, we
Right.
just like, what in the world today? Oh,
I
my
mean, that's
goodness.
what makes us. That's what makes
It's
us
real.
unique and
Real.
different.
right,
Right.
We
This is
moms.
Patty too, girl.
This is what happens.
real. And I'm hoping Jane don't wobble down here with her cast on, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, you guys, this is oh, so look, so today, so they got because I have a theater room. Well, that's where all the guys that that stay here with us, the players, they stay in the theater room. Well, these jokers, then I have a projector. So they just, they sleep and leave my projector on till they then my bulb light now is out. So I'm like, oh, really? So now y'all didn't just use my bulb light out because they sleep with it on. So now they're in the game room where the studio is, right? So Chris up there today was just yelling at the football game. I'm like, good Lord. I'm just kicked out of everywhere. So yeah, they took over. They took over my room, y'all. So, all right. As long as nobody walked behind me, and Carmen don't look up again, and Karen, I don't know which way you gonna look. This show is good.
I'm
Listen.
telling you.
Let me tell y'all something. You see this cup right here? I almost made me a hottie toddy, but I really didn't want to lean on the show like this, so I kept it PG and didn't put nothing in here. But maybe I should have,
Right.
because this show right here, I tell you what. All right, so listen. We got a special guest, and I am going to let Miss Carmen introduce our special guest. Go ahead.
Well, you guys, I'm so excited tonight because I'm representing Louisiana Monroe, ULM.
Okay.
I got my
You're just as bad as Karen with the solo. You get cowbells, helmets.
I got all my stuff. You guys, on a serious note, I have to interview my daughter, Mahogany Dilonga. She was voted ULM's Louisiana Monroe's academic female athlete of the year. Her 5th year where she graduated as magna laude with her master's degree in 5 years. So they voted her female athlete of the year. So Mahogany Dilonga, welcome.
Welcome,
Hello.
Mahogany. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you guys so much for having me here. Hi.
Okay, so mom's chest was all out. She brought out. Listen, I thought she was gonna start bringing out when you was a little girl, start crying, and Mama brought everything out. She's like, "Here's the plaque, and here's this." No, I probably would have done the same thing, y'all.
I saw
This
this.
was his
That's
diaper when
crazy.
he was little, and then this. That's how we are. That's how we moms are. We start going back and we
Yes,
get everything.
I
We
do
get
know.
everything.
Yes.
So
I
welcome to the
appreciate it.
That's
show.
that
Thank you.
firstborn.
Yeah, that's what we
Yeah.
do. And okay, let me ask Carmen, how many children you have?
Yeah.
Three.
Okay.
So
By the
Mahogany's
time you
the
get to
oldest. They're
see,
all
we do
2.5 years apart. So 5 years in there. For like 7.5 years, I carried a diaper bag straight through, y'all.
we do that with the first one, right? We get all this teary, and by the time we get to them last one, we be like, here they
I
plaque.
did all right.
So anyway, all
Yeah.
right. So I guess you know what? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I live here in Dallas. I am a field marketing specialist for a tech company here in the Dallas area, and I actually just started not too long ago in July. So I'm really happy to have this position. Just COVID made things a little bit crazy, so I'm very happy to be doing what I'm doing right now. But yeah, I played volleyball all growing up in college and also in Germany. I kind of miss having the opportunity to play so much now. It doesn't happen as often as I'd like for it to, but yeah, I'm glad to talk to you guys about it. Anything you'd like to know, I'm happy to share some of my experiences.
So you're playing volleyball. So what age did you start playing?
I started playing volleyball when I was 11 or 12 in the 6th grade.
In what position?
Middle. When I very first started, it was not the highest level. So it was the type of thing where like everybody just rotated around and everybody played everywhere. But I play predominantly middle and also some right side. I can play outside as well, but middle is definitely where I prefer to be.
So if you mind asking, how tall are you?
I'm 5'11", but I'm 6 feet with shoes on, and that's what was on all of our rosters.
You are just as bad as my daughter, right? So she goes to the doctor. I'm 5'7". He goes, he goes, you're 5'8". I said, no, she's not. That's not ponytail. I don't even know what you're talking about. So after she gets off the table, after she gets down, she comes up to me. She goes, I'm 5'8". I said, Joker, you 5'7". It's that ponytail. It's that ponytail.
Let her have that inch.
I know. I'll let her have it. I'll let her have it. You know. So anyway, okay. So from junior high to high school, you played, and then you went on to college to play.
I did.
So how was that?
It was quite an experience. So I mean, I will say, I think most student athletes have the same experience, just moving from high school to the collegiate level. Like in high school, you're probably the best on your team or one of the best. You're very good, and you get to college, and I mean, you're still good, but there are people who are a few years older than you and probably much better. So, and just like the level of training, I will say, is much higher when you get to college. You're doing weightlifting, you're practicing every single day, hours and hours a day. Like it's a bit of an adjustment. So it can be kind of overwhelming at first, for sure.
Wow.
Now
Karen, you have a question?
Yeah, now you talked about redshirting and how that was a good thing. Can you kind of explain to that? Because most parents or kids, they don't like to redshirt. They want to go right in and play.
Yeah.
But so can you kind of educate them on the benefits of redshirt?
Yes, it can be a great thing. And I know like redshirting has a very negative connotation. So it's like, it gives this idea that like you weren't good enough for this type of thing. But when that's really not the case. A lot of the times when you get to your school, there might be 2 or 3 other older athletes that play the same position as you. Like, if not more, it depends on your sport, of course. Like in volleyball, there are probably only 1 or 2, maybe 3. If you're in a sport like football, there could be 5 other people ahead of you. And it's not that you're not good enough. You just haven't had the experience yet. You haven't played at the collegiate level. You haven't played against these other teams who are very good. It's just you haven't learned how to work at this level. I mean, it's a whole learning process that you haven't had the opportunity to do yet. So when you redshirt, you get a whole year to learn all these things, get better, and then be at the top of your game for the next season. And for me personally, I was able to take that 5th year and do my entire master's. So it's like, not only do you get the extra year to progress and become better athletically, but academically, it gives you a boost. You get a whole year of extra money that you can use to your advantage. So it's like, it's a win-win for a lot of people, I would say, yes.
So now I'm going to ask a mother and daughter question, because during this journey, this is your first child, and she's wanting to play sports. What was it like financially? Because for volleyball it's different. We've heard about soccer, we've heard about on the show golf. What was it like financially for you guys in this journey with her for playing volleyball, Carmen?
It was hard, Shannon, because, well, first of all, our initial financial commitment was just Christian school. Like, we just knew from the time they were 3 that God wanted them in Christian school. So that was the first sacrifice that we made. And when I tell you, it was a huge sacrifice. But then sports wasn't really that much of a sacrifice until she got to high school and she started playing club. That's when it really became, wow.
Very expensive.
It was expensive. It was expensive. And not only expensive, but just, I was disappointed not to see more women of color playing volleyball on the club level. Like, we would go to tournaments, Mahogany, there could be like 132 courts. There would be 2 tournaments, one weekend, one the next weekend, and then you had a morning pool and you had an evening pool. And so thousands of girls there. And you might see 10, 12
Wow.
women of color. Like, it was just,
Yeah.
and okay, it's been a few years ago, but that really just broke my heart, because it was women of color excel at volleyball,
accessible.
and we're just not getting the chance. But I see now, because I officiate, I see a lot more women of color playing volleyball. But let me tell you guys, if you're out there listening, if you're thinking about volleyball, if you play volleyball well, I mean, you can get a full ride scholarship playing volleyball, and it is well worth the investment.
So what was the fees for club ball?
For the travel team, it was about 3, and this has been a few years ago, you guys, so I'm sure it's more now, but probably about 3,000 to 5,000.
Wait, hold on. I need to go put some rum in my tea. Hold on. Hold on, I need to go get some.
And that was just her, but that covered her uniforms, her travel, and everything. But then, if we were going to travel also, like, it was very expensive, and there wasn't any place my child was going to go that I wasn't going. So,
Did you say 3 to 4? Okay, so basketball, Jaden's fees are just 1,000, and that covers her tournaments and games. So that's just, man. And I always thought basketball was more expensive.
No,
really?
The uniforms and the uniforms, the sweats, the shoes, the everything. So that pays
the
for
entry
everything.
fees,
Yeah,
for the
entry fees.
tournaments, for the like the hotel stays, for everything. Yeah, it gets pretty costly and time consuming.
But I can also tell you, there wasn't, Mahogany, remind me if I'm wrong about this, but I don't remember a coach coming to Trinity Christian to look at you for volleyball.
Oh, no.
It was all club. All of her looks came from club. And you could see them in their shirts, walking around with their clipboard, checking people out. So you knew who they were looking at. You
Yes,
know,
I mean, if you're trying to play at the next level in volleyball, I would say that playing club is 100% a necessity. I mean, unless you play at just one of the top elite high schools, and I mean, there are a few that could possibly work, but yes, they do the majority of their recruiting from a club.
Well, you know what? I've noticed that because on some of our other interviews, guys, we've had, it's club. It's like club is the way to go that recruiters go. And I don't know if it's because it's more competitive and it's the back-to-back tournaments that are happening, but I've noticed that a lot of recruiting actually starts at club games versus them coming to the high school. I guess it's a one-shop stop,
right?
right?
Yes.
For
Well,
recruiters.
when you think
Yeah,
about it, is as far as she just said how expensive it is. So for a parent to go out and pay that money, my child better be good. If I'm paying $5 to $10,
Do you
$5 to $10,000,
do you need
they
some of
better
this,
be
Karen?
good.
Come back, Karen, come
They
back, come
better
back,
be
And I
good.
mean,
come back.
So
I will say though, I played on a higher level team, so there are
Wow.
also lower level, like just regional teams that don't really
right.
travel anywhere, like they don't travel anywhere overnight, like they just play in the area. And I mean, and
Daycare.
that's great for like younger kids, like if you're trying to start them out young, and you're not trying to go to all these different places from state to state, you just want to get them into the sport and start getting practice. That's a great place to start. But like when you're getting to your older, these days, even junior high, but like your high school, and you see that your daughter or son in some areas is good, then that's when they start going on like the higher level teams, the travel teams, the more competitive teams that cost more money.
Yeah.
and what about training? Did you pay for any additional training as well, or
No,
just the practice with the club?
no, just
But I will say that it wasn't until I started playing club, and I started late. Like I'm kind of like a success story. Like the fact that I made it to a D1 school, I started what's considered very late for club. I didn't start playing club until
10th
my
grade.
sophomore year. Yeah, so I was like 16, which is very late. Most of the time now, like they start at 11,
Yeah.
12, if not earlier. But yeah, I will say I had a good time at my high school. I loved playing with them, but I reached the level that I needed to be at to be recruited from club. So that was the more competitive arena for sure.
So now you go from college and now overseas. Was
Yes.
that a dream to play professional
I
volleyball
didn't,
or was
it hadn't always been my dream. It just turned out that I realized once I graduated, um, that I wasn't quite ready to be done playing yet. So I can tell you the story. I can tell you how I ended up over there. It's kind of an interesting story. But I graduated in May, and it was probably a couple months later, like July. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. So I did a little bit of Google searching. I found this company called Bring It Promotions. It's like bringitusa.com. And I saw that they did volleyball tours in Europe. And so like it kind of piqued my interest, but I was like, it's probably not going to happen. Like good to know, but on to other things. So that was in July, but I had taken note of the start of the tour, which was in August, probably like August 8th or so. So I let it sit for a little bit longer, and I would say probably 7 or 8, maybe like 9 at the most, days before the start of the tour, the volleyball tour, I decided that I was going. And yeah, I told my parents. Thankfully, I had an airline connect. I already had a passport, thankfully, and my grandma sent me some money, and I went.
Okay, so what was that conversation like? You're the firstborn, right? Female, and you tell mom and dad. How did you tell them? Did you say, do I need to talk to you, or did you butter them up, or did you just go, hey, I think I'm going to Germany?
I think it was more like the last option. Honestly, I don't even remember exactly, but I think I pretty much told them like I didn't ask. I'm fairly certain. I just told them
She's not really an asker.
that I was going, or not even going to Germany. So the way it worked was, it was like a volleyball tour it was like me and 26 other girls. We went to Maribor, Slovenia, and they had this really nice facility there. And so we would practice multiple times a day, like 2 or 3 times a day. And coaches would come from all over Europe to see us. And if they liked you, then they would take you, or you had the option to go do a tryout with their team in whatever your European country that might be. So I ended up in Germany with another American girl from California. But
Wow. Okay, Carmen.
So Mahogany, okay, so let me answer that question real quick, Shannon, and then I want her to explain the travel over there because we prayed her into Slovenia. But the conversation I kind of knew that she had been looking at this flyer and was kind of thinking about it. So I was okay. I was okay, but my husband was like, "Oh no, she is not going to Germany." And my thing was like, with all of them, I've always been like, they are not going to be like 30 years old and be like, I was going to play professional volleyball. My mama didn't let me go. My mom and daddy. So I was like, yeah, she's going.
okay.
So that happened with my middle daughter too, with cheerleading. She wanted to cheer. My husband was like, oh, you better get on that volleyball court. And she just wanted to cheer. And I was like, let her cheer. Let her cheer. So, we have to pick our battles. But that was when it comes to my kids, I was always going to pick that battle. But yeah, so, we prayed it in and I kept praying with him and he was like, okay, let her go. Let her go. So, but
That's
yeah,
funny because I never knew any of that backstory until recently. Like no one, I mean, in my mind, like no one was telling me I wasn't going. Like, I was going once I decided.
She said I was going.
She
snapped. I was going.
She has this really quiet demeanor, but let me tell you guys, she was always like in charge at the house. Like,
okay, so where did she get it from?
Well,
why show is quiet in this Presbyterian church.
I am one, like I'm kind of, in some cases, I'm kind of quiet too, but I will pick my battles. But when I pick it, you better get out the way because I'm straight up Taurus. And what makes it really bad is my husband's a Taurus too. So, and the middle one, Monique, is a Taurus. So.
Oh Lord! So we can imagine what that was like. Look, she's shaking her head. Like,
House of Taurus, the bulls.
Yes, April and May, just straight up.
So you
Mahogany, tell us about the journey.
Yeah.
So yes, okay. So thankfully that wasn't my first time in Europe. I had been twice before with my sister. We had been to France, but I flew into Frankfurt, and of course at this point I knew no German whatsoever, so that was quite an experience. I get into Frankfurt and I am taking the train all the way from Frankfurt, Germany to Maribor, Slovenia, which is not a short trip. It was probably like at least 12 hours. I can't even remember exactly now. But so I take the train and, I'm like asking people like, is this where I'm supposed to get off? And people were super nice and helped me figure out like where I was supposed to get off. At one point I had a stop in Vienna, Austria, I believe. And so I got in really late, like after midnight, and my train out the next day the same day, was at like 6 a.m. or something. So it was like really too late to get a hotel room, but also like nights and kind of sketch all by myself in the train station. So like I sat there by myself for a while and, like I watched, I was trying to watch some videos like on my laptop, but I didn't like the idea of like having my attention taken away from like paying attention to my surroundings. So I packed up all my stuff. I had a lot of stuff. I had like a big old suitcase, a backpack, and like a gym bag because, like volleyball shoes and stuff. So I like packed up all my stuff and I like went out and there was this hotel right across from the train station. So I like stumbled in and I asked the guy who was in there if I could just sit in the lobby until my train left in like a few hours. And he was really kind and let me just wait in there. So I waited, and I think my train out was at like 6 a.m. or so. Got on the train, made it to Maribor, Slovenia, took a taxi to the training place where I was supposed to be. Thankfully, the man took my American dollars. I didn't have euros at that point. So he took my money and I made it to the center. And when I showed up and I like said what my name was, the people were like, "Oh, glad, like you made it." We weren't sure just because I was traveling for like 2 days or so and like I hadn't had internet and no one had heard from me. So they were just like, "All right, cool. Glad you made it." So
Your mom hadn't even heard
yeah.
from you?
Was I able? Did I call you
I
guys?
think you were text. I don't think you could call at that time. But I think you text us and let us know when you got there, because we were just praying like you guys. She was on these overnight trains and she didn't know the language, and so I think she texted us when she got into Frankfurt, and then she got on the train and then texted us.
Probably when I got to
So we
Frankfurt.
kind of knew what was going on.
Let me tell y'all something. I'd have been pacing the floor, speaking in tongues all night long. My
telling you, we
daughter on
prayed
her way
her.
to Germany, and I ain't heard from her. Listen, the heavens would have known my name because I would have been speaking. And my husband probably said, "If you don't go to bed," I'd have been. He probably looked at me and said, "If you don't go to bed," oh my God! Just the thought of, especially female. You know what I'm saying? You're
Yes.
traveling. You're
By
in a foreign
herself.
by yourself. But that lets me know, though, you raised her well, because she sounded like she was sharp. You sound like you were just sharp. You paid attention, and so that means you guys had to have a conversation, even with dad. Had to have a conversation of watch for this, look for this. Pay attention to the signs. Because that's at a how old were you when you went?
I was 23. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Wow.
yeah. I'm
And
telling
you
you.
didn't sound like you were scared at all. Was you not scared at all?
I wasn't really scared. No. I mean, I will say I had some experience before. Just when I had been in France before, like my sister and I, we'd taken trains. So that's why I knew I wanted to take the train just initially. I had some experience taking trains, so I knew like the trains went where they were supposed to. Like they come on time. Like you get on a train, like it'll be okay. We don't have that type of thing here, but like it's it's something that you can depend on in Europe. So I knew that was a good option. And other than that, like I knew I was gonna make it eventually. Like I wasn't. I was more interested to see, like, was I going to make a team? So the thing was, I decided so late that I was going to go. Like, I decided like a week before. But girls had known that they were going to do this for months, like months and months. So they had been training the whole time. This was August and my season, because, volleyball is a fall sport. So I was done playing the last November. And I didn't train with them over the spring season because I was no longer on the team. So it had been a while since I had like hardcore trained. So I was more concerned about like, I got to pull it together like once I get here. So,
yeah. So
and how long were you there?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
Only a couple days, actually. It was like a full week, but me and the other girl from California, we got invited to go do the tryout probably on like the second day, I think it was. So yeah, so we left. We weren't there for too long.
Wow.
So Mahogany, when people tell me that they played a professional sport in Europe, I always ask like, did you learn the language and did you enjoy it? And I know for you, it was an amazing experience. She's actually been back to Germany and France since she's been home. You guys, she went and studied German and French for a year after just about a year ago. So she really embraced Germany and France. So tell us about that experience. Like, just being in Europe and playing professional volleyball. Tell us about it.
It was it was so different. I mean, and it was life changing for me. I'd like to say, like, it kind of changed the course of how my life went. So, I got there and everyone was so nice. Like, me and the girl from California, we were like the Americans. So, like, and people were so interested that we were American, and me being black. So where I ended up in Germany, I was in Gera, Thuringen, which is like probably 2 hours by car from Berlin, so more like East Germany. And it's a smaller city, not like a small town. It's actually decent size. Like, there are quite a few people who live there, but it's not a place where you're gonna find any other black people. So like, we get there and I show up and people are like, "Oh, wow." And then I'm American as well, so people are like, "Oh, wow." And then, we play volleyball and we're good. And so people are like, "This is amazing." Like,
Wow.
we had a really great time. And I have to say, my teammates were so great. They were so kind. They took us on like weekend trips to a lot of different places, so we got to experience a lot of different areas. I mean, like nearby in Germany. I ate a lot of the food, which I really loved. A lot of bratwurst and like pretzel bread and just delicious things. Yeah, I took a German class, so I learned a bit of the language, and I did go back in 2018. I spent the majority of the year in Europe studying German and French again. But yeah, I mean, I had a really great experience. I met a lot of people. I got to continue playing volleyball, which was my ultimate goal. And yeah, I really loved it. I loved it.
Well, we're going to continue on right after this, because now we got to go from professional to your next move in life and your journey, and kind of want to talk about the mental things that you faced even from a young age playing in sports. So, all right, we'll be right back after this because we're bringing Big Mama to the show.
Baby, let me tell you. God, no. If I told him once, I done told him twice.
Big Mama, what's up? What's up? What's
Hey, Big
up?
Mama.
She's on
Hey,
mute.
Big Mama.
Hey, ladies. Good
Hey,
evening.
how
I'm
are
How are
loving
you?
the
you?
jersey. I'm loving the jersey, Big Mama.
Oh, that's it. Who that, baby? Who that?
Who
You know what?
that?
I know you're getting ready to get
Yes,
started, but
indeed.
I,
So,
I,
ladies,
go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, I was
no,
thinking
I'm
about
listening to
you.
you,
Can you
Miss
hear me?
Janet.
Huh? Go
I
Go
can
ahead.
hear you.
Oh, I was thinking about you when Dak got injured. I was like, how can I find my
Oh,
phone and call Big Mama? Because I know she's sitting there, and I was like, I need to call Big Mama. Oh my God, we got to do a show because I need to find Big Mama. Oh my
mm,
goodness.
mm,
I was
mm.
thinking about you. Oh
Girl, it was
man.
uh hurt.
That was
It
devastating.
was unimaginable. Yeah, very much so. But it looks like he's bouncing back. So that he was one of my little discussions this evening. But I'm I'm excited for him because I think his comeback is going to be much better, bigger than what's been going on with him. But I just have a few things this evening. Of course, I got on my Who Dat jersey. We have a bye this week, but I always got to make sure that I represent for us. One thing I wanted to talk about was Michael Thomas. Last week, he had gotten into a scuffle fight with one of his teammates, little situation. But he comes out and he says that Mike said, I'm not gonna run down a lie. So hey, if he don't want to talk about it, then we're gonna let him be about it. But one thing I want to say to you, Mike, If you can't be coached, then you can't play. So, to my understanding, from all that I hear, that you're not listen, you don't want to listen to the coaches. Man, get you a team then if that's what you want to do. But humble yourself, make your money, get your paper, do what you need to do. If you don't think you can follow the rules, call Big Mama. We'll talk about it because I'm gonna help you be your original self. My next thing was Tua Roll Tide, baby. Tua came out this evening with the Miami Dolphins. He made his little NFL debut, maybe 4 or 5 passes. But I was so proud to see him bounce back, doing his thing, and he is, being in the NFL and made that decision to go. So I was definitely proud to see one of my Bama boys do their thing in the NFL. So roll tide. My last thing was about Dak. Now, Dak, I went through the whole summer. I was there for you, saying, get your money from Jerry. I just didn't feel right. Then when he brought in Andy Dalton, I'm like, Dak, get your money. And so now this has happened. But Jerry Jones, give Dak his money. You owe him. He played for you. He didn't kneel. I guess you need to pay him for that at least. But you need to pay him his money. Black Lives Matter, man. So that's all I have for this evening. I just want to tell all of our student athletes, I've been seeing you out there putting your work in. All right, DeSoto. I see y'all trying to come back and do your thing. Coach Mathis, we praying for you to do what you need to do this fall. So that's all I have. Ladies.
I get to go to my first DeSoto game next Friday. What?
Oh, well, welcome to the U, baby. There is no place like it.
Oh, my goodness. They're going to be celebrating. I'm excited.
Yes.
Yeah. So I saw Dax. He did a footage and he was talking about how he's feeling and how he's trusting God in this next, place that he's in. And so it was like, wow, sometimes things happen will humble you, man. I'm telling you, you will be like, wow, okay. And I think it's interesting what's going to happen after this, because sometimes when injuries like that happen, it puts you in a place of, okay, let me really think about this. What's next in my life? God, what do you want to do? What is this about? So, yeah,
it's going to take a great faith for him, with him dealing with depression and with him being so open about it, acknowledging it, dealing with it. So I'm sure that this will put him in another place. But we'll be prayerful because we know who can and make all the changes that he needs to happen in his life.
Okay. All right, Big Mama, we thank you for coming to the show. We love you and we missed you. So pretty excited. All right. Okay.
Take care, Big Mama.
All right, so now we're back with Miss Mahogany and talking about her journey in volleyball. So you go to Germany. Now, during your time of playing, did you ever deal with something mentally that maybe you didn't tell your parents or you did tell your parents? Did you go through any injuries or just even being when Carmen was saying about the club ball and it's maybe out of all the girls, it was 10 Black young ladies. Did you ever go through girls feeling like you're not supposed to be here? Did you ever go through someone saying something racist to you because of the situation?
I definitely will say, like, I felt like I had to prove that I was good enough to be there all the time, pretty much. And yeah, I mean, it was a bit overwhelming for me. Just like, it wasn't something at that point in time. Like, I mean, I was like 16, 17. It wasn't something that I really could put a name on, or like I had words to describe how I felt about it. But it was definitely like I I knew that I was different, and that because I was different, everyone was looking at and wanted to see what I was going to do, like what I was capable of. And so therefore I had to show that I was worthy of being in the space. So yes, without a doubt.
I want to know.
Go ahead, Karen.
Oh, go ahead, because I was going to ask you
Go ahead. I
something.
got it.
Okay, I was going to ask you, how did you stay so focused with your goals as far as not getting burned out in boys? Because you got your master in your 5th year of college. How did you stay so focused? Because I know when I went out to college that first year, I was partying. Ended up getting pregnant that first year. So I mean, it's
Got
just
it,
the
got
thing,
it.
Oh
when you
no!
go
Wait,
out.
wait. Oh no,
Got it,
Karen.
got it.
Listen, Carmen said don't try her. So I think Mahogany had to think. Okay, do I come home pregnant or do? Okay, if I come home pregnant,
No.
I ain't gonna make it. Okay, let me not come home
Yeah,
pregnant.
that wasn't a very good option for me. I knew that. No. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think I've always I've been blessed to be just a bit driven always. I mean, even when I was in high school, I don't remember at what point I realized, but somewhere early on in high school, I knew that I needed to get a scholarship to go to college. And so I knew that I needed to make that happen. So I would say, I mean, even my junior and senior years, I played club. So like club is at the same time, or club overlaps with basketball season. So I still played basketball at this point. But I would go from my high school basketball games, a full hour there, play the whole game, and my mom would rush me from wherever the game was. If it was at home, then that would make life a little bit easier. But wherever in the DFW Metroplex I might be, and she would rush me to my club volleyball practice, where then I would practice for the next like 2.5 or
3
so
hours.
hours, 3 hours. And yeah, and I just knew that that was something I needed to do. So I done. And I guess that just kind of stayed with me, and it continued on into college. Like I knew what I was there for, I guess.
Wow.
I knew I was there to get the degree, and then eventually get the master's. So I kind of just stayed focused on that. Yeah.
Is that something your parents constantly drilled into you? You're going to go to school. You're going to get college degree. Bring us a college degree. Or is it something that you just came up with yourself, Carmen?
I mean, they definitely made it known. They made it known that that they wanted that for me, and that there were expectations for me. But I think just me myself, like I knew that I wanted a degree, and that I knew that college was expensive, and I knew that I wanted to play volleyball. So like all these things kind of came together. But yeah, I mean, and I think that would be one of my biggest pieces of advice is just staying, like everybody says, stay focused, but like remembering what you are there for. Like, sure, you're there to play. You're there to play the sport. You're going to have a lot of fun. You're there to make friends. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. But ultimately, you are there to get this degree at the end of the day.
So you're saying when you went to college, you didn't go. Okay, so you're saying stay focused because when you go to college, you have, especially as athletes, you go to parties. I don't know what it is. I mean, it's just athletes like to go out to parties. Jordan.
And I will say when you're an athlete too, you already have a team, like you already have a group. So I mean, even when you're 18, like you have teammates who are like 21 or 22. So you have easy access to alcohol or whatnot. So yes.
So did you go party?
A little bit, but honestly, I've never been much of a partier. Like, I did go. I did. I won't say that I didn't. I did. But it wasn't the type of thing where like, oh, I'm going to these parties and then I'm missing practice or like, or I'm not showing up on time to this or that I, that we're supposed to be at. Like, no, And it's really not worth it, because if you're the one who makes everybody run because you were late to practice because you were out partying too late last night, like, you're not going to be very popular on the
Right.
team.
So
Not at
so
all.
so let me ask you this question. During this journey, the other teammates, did you ever encounter other teammates that mentally were going through things that maybe you helped them through, um, based off of, your standard and how you were raised? How did you help lead others through their situation?
Oh, I mean, yes, I definitely had teammates who went through things. Um, yeah, I mean, and we had people from, like, from all over with really different backgrounds. So, like, just in life, they dealt with a lot of things. But how I helped, I don't know. I just try to be there for people. I think that's the main thing. If I don't know that I, like, did anything super great or, like, made any great speeches, but I think just, like, in being there and showing up all the time, I think that's where
That's
I
where you made a difference.
made the most impact. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Karen or
I
Carmen.
I do remember, was it I think it was your freshman year, like your setter um got pregnant, and yeah, she left. So
Yeah, she left.
I do remember some situations going
Oh
on.
yeah, we had situations. Yes, definitely. Yeah, she left.
Yeah.
And actually, yeah, she made that decision for herself, and she went home, and it was sad for us because she was really good. She was great, but she made that decision and she never looked back. And yeah, like, I respected her for that, for sure.
That has to be a hard place, you're especially because you're if you're on a team and you're on a scholarship and then you go get pregnant. It has to be tough, right? Because you're like, keep the baby or don't keep the baby. And then you make the decision to keep, but somewhere in your mind, there has to be a battle of what
Yeah.
was I thinking? I never got to finish. And
I
a
let my team down.
I let my team down, a resentment. And so you look back and it's like, I can't go back and get it. So I can imagine a lot of athletes, especially females, go through the resentment stage because of that. Because see, look, if a guy gets a girl pregnant, he can
Yeah,
continue to play the sport.
Right.
Right.
Isn't that crazy?
Right.
Like, he
Life
can go
goes on.
finish, life goes on. But for her, she has to stop, right? It's because you can't play a sport. It's like you have to give it up. And so that's tough. That's really
it,
a tough thing that, we don't talk about. We talk about the guys, but we really never sit down and talk about what the female mentally goes through when they're put in that position. So, Karen, you have a question?
No.
I do, Mahogany, because we've talked about this before, you guys, and I can't remember whose daughter it was, but she said she was like awkward, and she was like sixth or seventh grade, and she was really awkward, and she was tall and like really trying to find herself. And I want Mahogany to talk about that a little bit, because Mahogany, I think it was sixth grade, she was like 5'10", wearing a size 12 shoe.
So dad must be
And
tall.
very
he's
6'5".
6'5".
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
So
think it
how
was
was
one of
that
our
for you?
guests that said that, talked about it. It was somebody on the show.
So how was that for you?
I mean, I was always pretty athletic, so it's a stage that didn't last too long for me, I have to say. But I mean, I do say, anytime I come across someone who's like, yeah, my daughter, she's this tall, or, like, she's kind of awkward, she hasn't grown into herself yet, I'm like, put her in volleyball. I'm gonna do it. Like, you don't even know, because I mean, that's not really an avenue that a lot of people go down these days, especially a lot of, like, Black families. That's not what they put their daughters in. So I'm just like, there's so much opportunity. put her in volleyball. She'll be great starting now. But yeah, I mean, it's awkward, but I think, yeah, I will say I was probably like 5'11" by the time I was 13
Wow.
or so. Yeah, and then kind of stayed there.
So
One of
now-
our sports moms, she said that was her. That was Kawashika. Her daughter is tall.
Kawashika,
wow.
that's who it was. I
Yeah.
remember her saying,
Yeah.
yes.
She's
yeah.
tall. Wow.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
So now you never thought about, did you ever think about coaching?
I get this question often, and I actually have a couple teammates who live here in the area, and they do coach, and I say power to them. No, no, it's not really. I feel like, so this is just my perspective. You have to have a lot of patience, and I do have patience for sure, but like, I had some excellent coaches and I had some terrible coaches. And it's like there are some people who like don't have that level of patience, who can't like bring themselves to the level of like how the teenagers, whoever it is they're coaching, like it's just not good. And I would never want to be a not good coach, just knowing that I've had those experiences in the past. So I feel like we should leave that to people who really, really love it and who really like understand it and who are good at it. That's my personal thought.
And
So-
is that the
That's
way
a
you?
good answer. That's a good
Yeah, I
answer.
mean, did you just come to that as far as walking away? Because that's one thing that we, with our guests and stuff, it's just hard to walk away from something that you've been doing so
Yeah.
long. So
yeah.
did you just come up with that? Like, I'm walking away. I did it. I accomplished my goal.
No, I still just rather play. Like, I'd rather play. So again, I don't get to play too often, but when I do, I'm like, yes, still got it.
She said, I still got it.
So, Mahogany, I
how-
have a picture I'm going to show you.
Oh,
I'm sorry. You got. So, can you guys see this picture?
Mhm.
Wait.
Maybe Zoom.
Class of
Yeah.
2007.
Uh-huh.
You
So,
I was trying to avoid having that just blasted out here.
Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? I
read
just
that
got to tell you in
part
the beginning. Mama
read
be
that
going to
part
get.
first.
Did you see this? And baby, and then did you see this one? And then oh my gosh, Mama went and got everything, boy.
but Mahogany, tell us about this picture. Tell us what this is. I'll cover up the class part.
Yes, so that's from my high school. They basically have this like ring of honor, I guess, that they induct alumni into. So every year they choose, I think they choose a male and a female, like former student who they believe has been kind of exemplary. Did I say that word right? Who has done great things. And yeah, so they chose me one year and I was very honored. It was very nice. So my name is like up on the wall. It's so that's the gym. That's our high school gym. So my name is like up there
And
for
lights
everyone to
and
see.
Mom, right? And
Yes.
mom's gonna, make
Last
sure
the
we
year
know.
that I graduated. Yes, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Look at her. Look at the proud mom. I'm telling you, that's what we do, boy. We get everything.
No.
We just smile from ear to ear.
We
It's
can't
a
embarrass
blessing.
them. Who will? Like,
Right, but you know what? It's a blessing to be able to do that because you have a lot of
Yes.
kids who don't finish, and there's a lot of parents who've lost their children, and so when you can
Yeah.
do that, and you're whether it's a son or daughter, accomplish and finish and got the degree and moving on and surviving, you kind of get the chest come out and you want to show all of everything. So that's why I let Mom introduce you, because I knew Mom was ready, boy. That's my baby, y'all. That I did that. She didn't even say dad. She said I did that. No, we do that, y'all. Oh, that's right. Look, I mean, Jamie playing basketball.
I carried that child.
Right. Like Jamie playing basketball. I'll be like, she got that from me. And even with
Right.
Jordan, right? Like Jordan be playing, football, and he catch them hands. He got that from me to my hands.
Right.
I don't say nothing about that. That's my hands, y'all.
Right.
And yeah, so we always take the credit as mom, but it was great having you on the show and hearing about your journey. And so what are you doing now again? You're
I am a field marketing representative for a tech company in the Dallas
wow.
area. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I've been working in marketing basically since I came back. So something that I enjoy. Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that what your master is in, or your
So
degree is in?
not quite. My master's is in communication, so it kind of works. I got my bachelor's in criminal justice because at one point I thought I was going to be a lawyer, but then that didn't happen. So yes, the communications though, it kind of it all works together.
That's great. Well,
That's good.
congratulations, Mom. You and Dad did a great job.
Thank
With
you.
so this is an amazing journey. So we will be back next Thursday with a new guest and a new show and so much more. But look, this is your girl Shannon at Can We Talk Sports, and we just had an amazing conversation with Miss Mahogany and Miss Carmen. And if you have follow us, y'all listen, follow us. We're coming up on 1 year. Woo! We're coming up on 1 year, aren't we, Karen?
Yes,
Coming up on,
ma'am.
listen, if y'all knew what we've been through, the crying,
Yes.
the sweating, but we made it. Oh man, this we oh my gosh, we didn't boo-hooed. We got off the show boo-hooing. We got on the show boo-hooing, and then we've added some new amazing hosts. So we've been through 1 year. 1 year. So we got some things planned for our season finale, which we're super excited about. But anyway, join us next Sunday for actually Thursday at 7, and then next Sunday for another Can We Talk Sports. Karen, you have something?
Yes, I wanted to tell everybody what I've been doing on the show. First of all, like and share this video. If you like what you're seeing, if you like, just moms coming and being transparent, talking about what we did, our kids, having different guests, like and share the video. But also in this post, I have a GoFundMe. We're trying to raise money for marketing. We need marketing to come in and help us to take this show to another level. So while we're on our winter break, we're going to be working on marketing, working on making this a better show. So we ask you guys, whether it's $1 or $5, $2, whatever it is, to donate so we can come back strong next year after the season's finale. That's right.
We're gonna come back with capes.
Right.
Super mom.
Super moms. That's it. Super
If I
moms.
don't if I don't if
Girl,
I,
get
if I
out my
don't port
toddy.
yeah.
Let me tell you, one of the best things in Germany, Shannon, is they take wine and they heat it up like
Really?
Oktoberfest. It's heated
Mulled wine,
wine. It is amazing. It's
Glühwein.
amazing.
Really?
Hmm
Let me
It's
Google
really
it.
good.
I got some in there. Let
Yeah.
me go Google it.
So good.
It's
Stick it in
really
the
good.
microwave, heat it up.
It's very good.
Is it really? Okay, I'm gonna try that. You heard it right
Yes,
here on
it's
Can We
good.
Talk Sports. I'm gonna go heat up some wine.
Mhm.
Now
That's
let me
right.
stop. All right, so this has been a great show. This is your girl Shannon at Can We Talk Sports. I'm here with my guest
Mahogany.
and
Mama D,
And Karen.
K Dog.
did she say and Karen? Did she say, oh my God.
I got something going on with my throat right now. That's
Well, you better get it
y'all
together because we got to yell Friday.
I know.
Right?
It's
I'm
Soto.
finna-
Because she
I'm
ain't
finna
gonna be
get it together.
saying, this is the Soto.
No,
She
No,
never,
I'm
she's
not.
not.
I'm
she
not.
not.
Who are they?
She not.
Who are they playing on Friday?
They play Waxahachie. It's the first district game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So
Yeah.
gonna
So
be
she ain't gonna be
fun.
talking about this is the Soto. No,
It's
she's not gonna do that,
Saturday.
y'all. Right, no. That cowbell gonna be in my ear. She gonna be
right.
screaming. Pom pom probably gonna hit me in the face. I'm just gonna be like, oh
I'm
God.
gonna be turned up on the sideline. I'm probably gonna be more turned up than them boys gonna be. Come on, baby.
If you run down the sideline, I'm going home.
That is my goal to take the flag
If
and
you
run
run down
the
that
ball.
sideline,
No.
When they get a
I'm going
touchdown,
home.
that is my goal to run the field and probably fall out
and I'm going to go home. Carmen, please watch the show because we're going to be doing our live feed. And if you see the phone drop because she done ran by the top,
I might have to run over.
I'm going to do one of these numbers and I'm out. Because Karen would probably do it. Try to plant the flag in the middle of the field. I'm going home.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I didn't realize
are.
these DeSoto games got so wild. I didn't
Karen,
realize.
That's just Karen.
That's Karen.
Just
I was
Karen.
gonna tell you. So anyway,
It's
all
about our
right.
community, Mahogany. It's about our community. I'm all about our community, building where you sit.
For real, she is seriously. So, all right. Good night, guys.
Night,
Good
night,
night.
night.
Bye, everybody.